divine reverential lotus feet of our beloved Lord, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba. Respected elders, brothers, sisters, and my dear children, loving Sai Ram, and a very good afternoon to each and every one of you. It's indeed a privilege to introduce our guest speaker of the day, Pallavi Vedanta. She was here last year at the regional retreat, and everybody just enjoyed her talk. And there was a lot of requests from the women that we have to bring her back for the women's mini retreat. And that's how she happened to be here. So yesterday we had the women's mini retreat in the Bay Area, and very well appreciated, a lot of energy. And so it's a privilege that she's here today, and I welcome you all to her talk this afternoon. Miss Pallavi Vedanta is an alumna of Sri Satya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Anantapur campus. She completed her MS in Food and Nutritional Sciences in 2003 and Bachelor's in Education in 2005. She further pursued her doctorate in microbiology at the Clemson University in the United States, after which she went on to pursue her postdoctoral research at Harvard School of Public Health as a microbiologist. Consequently, she pursued her postdoctoral research at the University of Connecticut Health Center as an immunologist. Currently, she works as a senior research assistant at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center and conducts research in immuno-oncology. Pallavi has been in Bhagwan's fold for the past 28 years. She's a SSC student, young adult, and Sevadal. In India, she's been associated with the Ananagar West Sai Samiti in Chennai. She has participated in medical camps, blood donation drives, and also has served as a Sevadal for 5 years. In the United States, she's been associated with the Sai family of Region 3 for 6 years, and right now is residing in Region 1 from the past 4 years. So the floor is all yours, Pallavi. Welcome.
I think they can see me.
There is not much light there, so yeah, it's perfect.
Is good enough? Can everybody see me?
Yes.
Great. I offer my most humble pranams at our most beloved Bhagwan's lotus feet. Respected elders, Sairam to everyone, and to my favorite kids. So I was told the SSC kids are going to be here. So I thought I'll share some of my experiences that I've had with Swami. Forget everything they have told about me, by the way. You don't need to remember. 4 o'clock is the time. So all of you are so lucky that you have SSC class at what time? 3 on a Sunday. Beautiful, isn't it? You can wake up at 11 o'clock, jump into the shower at 11:30, get ready quickly and rush here. So when I joined SSC for Group 1, I was living about 10-minute bike ride away from my house. I just moved to this area. I was super excited. I got my white and white dress stitched, ironed it the previous night. Sunday morning used to be our class at 7:30 in the morning. So it's a nightmare basically. So all my excitement plummeted instantly the previous night. So I made the mistake of telling my mother to wake me up. You know how that happens, right? They're about time. You tell your parents to wake you up at 6:30, they'll wake you up at 6 and tell it, 6:30, wake up. When you get a minor heart attack, you open your eyes, you see the time and you go back to bed. They extrapolate time, they're in a third dimension, they don't live in the world all the time. So my mother has been doing this every half an hour and I have been telling her, I'll get up, I'll get up, I'll get up. Finally, I opened my eyes, it was 7 o'clock in the morning. I jumped into the shower like a frog, dipped my head, got ready, and I'm about to dash out of the door about 7:10 because it's a 10-minute bike ride. Plus, I had the ambitious desire to sit right in the front under the nose of my SSC teacher because I am that student. I should not miss any notes from her. Very eager, very enthusiastic, only for one reason, to make Swami happy. There's no other reason for me. So I'm about to run out of the door and my mom calls me, hey, come here. So I go to the kitchen and she says, go and get me green chilies from the vegetable vendor across the street. Because Sunday morning, everybody has idli and chutney or dosa or chutney as breakfast. So I am standing in front of my mother and giving her a lecture on punctuality and being on time. All of you have done that, right? You've told your mother what to do and you get a look. So I got the look too. And she said, leave. Don't talk to me, just go to your class. So I went to class. I went there, I climbed the stairs, I sat down right in front of the SSC teacher. Very happy. Now remember, we have just moved to this area. I've never met the teacher. I don't know anybody. This is absolutely new place. But I am sitting there as though I know everybody and I am the king of this place. The teacher comes, she sits down. I'm right in front of her and she says, the first thing, we are going to learn today 2 things. How to obey your parents' command. I said, gone. I should sit back right now. The second thing that we're going to learn is how to tell the truth. I said, what a bad decision you have made, Pallavi. She starts talking. So she welcomes everybody. She says, hi, hello, this and that. The first thing she says, now remember there's a beautiful picture of Swami. Swami sitting in an orange robe on a single sofa couch. It's looking so beautiful. And it's a 3D picture. You know these 3D pictures? They look at you in every direction. You're sitting in the kitchen and watching, you can see Swami looking at you. So it's a 3D, which is very beautiful, very enticing. So I was drawn to the picture. I was instantly in love with Bhagwan. This is her opening statement. She's looking at me. She says, if your mother wants green chilies, you go get her green chilies. My head exploded. I said, there has to be some, backdoor setting that has been done. My mother should have called the teacher and fixed this topic today. There is no other grand explanation. Now remember, I'm just getting to know Swami at this point of time. So I'm looking at Swami's picture and I'm thinking, very dangerous guy. I have to be very careful with Swami. Because he is watching these things, he is hearing also, and there's instant feedback also. So you have to be very careful. So the class was going on and on and on, and I was taking notes, and then we moved to topic of truth. And she said, all of us are going to do an exercise where we're going to tell the truth here afterwards. So make note when you get into the bus, you go to school, or you're playing with your friends in school, or you come back home and you deal with your parents or interact with them. Write down what are the problems you faced in telling the truth for the rest of the 6 days. When we meet, we will discuss the problems. I said, great. So I have a very logical, scientific mind back then. So I bought a diary and I started writing notes of what problems there are to tell the truth. Now I have a very sweet younger sister. How many of you have younger sisters here or younger brothers? They're such a pain, isn't it? No? You love? Okay, she's being very sweet. Is she around here? That's right. But I love my sister. I was just joking. So my younger sister and I, we're both afraid of dogs. Now in India, if you grow up in India, you have street dogs that will chase you and bite you and harass you. They're not domestic dogs. So we used to go to school and we had to take a public transportation bus from one area to the other, and it's half an hour ride. Alright? And now there was a house in the corner that we had to pass by that had a female Doberman dog, so tall that she would perch her paws on the gate and sometimes jump off. And she had pups too, so she was a very territorial female dog. And she was a very famous celebrity of that area. All the soap operas in India, they would come and do shooting on her for these fight sequences in the soap operas or movies. So she was a very famous dog, and the dog knew that too. And we were very afraid of her. But I never told my sister I am afraid, because now she's looking up to me for courage. And I am also afraid. So I never told my sister. So we're going to school, coming back. One fine day, every day she starts telling me, early in the morning. You heard the word Nagar Sankirtan? In Parthi, 5:30 in the morning, they all go around Swami's residence singing bhajans in Puttaparthi. So that is known as Nagar Sankirtan, going around. So my sister would start her Nagar Sankirtan in the morning. I am not going to school. Why don't you force Amma to write the leave letter today? I am sick, you are sick, we don't need to go to school because of the dog harassment. So day 1, day 2, day 3, and then I got a migraine. I said, I need to put an end to this. So in my mind, I remember what my SSC teacher told me. What was the topic of that week? Truth. I remember very well. So I said, Swami, please close your ears for one time. Close your eyes also one time, please. And I looked at my sister and I said, when we were approaching the house, I said, don't you know this dog is blind? She looked at me and said, how can a dog be blind? It's a valid question. So I said, when human beings can be blind, dogs also can be blind. What is it? And she believed me. So we are going to school, hunky-dory, no problem. Peaceful journey to the school and back. Now comes Sunday morning. I have to see who? SSC teacher. How many of you are afraid of your SSC teacher here? Me too. Even now I'm afraid of my SSC teacher. I'm not afraid of Swami, but I'm afraid more about my SSC teacher. You should be. But they are very sweet people, right? They're looking out for your own good. So I am now, my heart rate is raising slowly. I am telling my mother, I don't need to go to SSC anymore. I've learned everything in 1 week. I know everything about Swami. All excuses I'm fishing out. And it so happened, Saturday evening, my bike had a flat tire. So I asked my dad, will you come with me? Let's go fix the tire. So he said, all right, let's go. So when we went, and on the way back, we're about 10 feet. So we're the distance from the door to the altar, all right? And I see this dog is outside the house with the owner of the husband and wife outside. There is a cinema shooting going on of a climax movie scene. There's a stunt director, there's a director, producer, everybody's outside, cameraman. Now all of you have watched movies? Yes? You see the actor and the actress look at each other, something happens, they forget everything for a few seconds. So the dog turned at me. I looked at the dog. There was so much love from the dog, and there was so much fear from me that it didn't match very well. So then the dog, I could see, is getting ready to take off, pounce, almost bite and pounce. Now, I have not told my parents of what I have done to my sister, right? It's a secret between me and my sister. So I am holding my bike and we are walking. I'm deciding, okay, it's a very expensive bike. My parents are not going to like if I throw this right now. I have no other option but to run. So I'm mentally deciding which way I should throw this piece of bike and start running in the opposite direction. So the dog starts running towards me. I should be running towards the dog. No, I'm running in the opposite direction now. Behind the dog, the owner of the dog are running, both of them, husband and wife. The director is running, the watchman of the colony is running. Everybody is running. So there are 8 people behind the dog, and I am so short, wearing a pink frock till my knees, and the dog is trying to get hold of the frock. So it got hold of my frock. I just tore the frock and gave it away to the dog. And I kept running, Usain Bolt. Like that. It was like a thunder lightning run. I looked back in between to see what's happening with my poor father. He's happily walking with the bike. He is not bothered what happened to his daughter. I ran into the house, shut my bedroom door, was panting and crying and angry, and all those negative emotions were out. On the bed, who was there?
Sister.
My sister. The climax. So she looks at us, what happened? Usually I am the bold one between both of us. She's the one who's always running to me in school out of fear. This time it was the opposite. So she said, what happened? I said, the dog. And I was panting. I couldn't even finish my sentence. And she said, you told me the dog is blind. How did the dog see you? So I said, I don't want to talk about it. That's a classic response we get, right? When you don't want to give a sane answer, what do you tell? I don't want to talk about it. Exactly. So I shut the door and I slept.
Or you can say it's none of your. It's like.
No, that's too harsh. So I slept. When I slept that night, that was my first dream in which Swami had appeared and blessed me with his darshan. First dream, I can never forget. So I am in my dream, the same dress, the bitten frock, sitting in front of Swami, and Swami is having a beautiful smile. And he looks at me, hey, dog. I was so sad. I said, you are so happy. It was a harrowing, frightening experience, Bhagwan. This is not something to celebrate. But I said, Swami, yes, Swami, the dog was chasing me. So he looked at me very sweetly. And he said, Bangaru. Bangaru means, my dear, the dog is not blind to my message. You are blind to my message. And he said, what did your SSC teacher teach you? And what did you do? That's all he said. And he disappeared. So I woke up that day and I decided I'm never going to lie, no matter what happens. So it becomes more difficult now. Right? So next week I go to class. And I know that I have not done my homework because I have loved cricket matches. I don't know how many of you watch, but I love cricket matches. Loved. Let's put the past perfect on it. So I used to love cricket matches, and matches were going on in the summer. And I was watching the game. I didn't do my homework. I knew I had to do my duty, but I didn't do. So now I knew, I promised Swami that I'm not going to tell a lie. And I've not done the homework. I'll be called out in class in front of 50 students. 50, yeah, it's a big class in India. So I'm sitting in the class, and the teacher asks for the homeworks. So I give her the homework. And she says, where's the homework? I said, I didn't do it. Very, very proud about it also. I didn't do it. And she said, come, I have a special place for you. And she made me sit on the ground next to her as the masterpiece or example for not doing such things for the entire class. So I became a very grand example of what not to do in class for the entire month. And I was getting comfortable there. And one day she told me, you know, you should be ashamed you are sitting here. And I told the teacher, but the air and ventilation is very nice from here. I like it. I said, why don't you just do your homework? You're an intelligent girl. Besides the point. So I learned the lesson very hard way that when you go to SSC, not only you should be afraid of your SSC teacher, you should be also afraid of what happens after you don't do what she says. That's the main lesson. But the point I'm trying to make to all the kids here is that the best part of my years was in the SSC class. And I got to know so much about Swami, and I also learned that nobody should live in fear of Swami, but they should live in love of Swami. I'll tell you a very interesting example. So fast forward about 20 years. Alright? I'm in college. And in college, same situation. Dogs are not still chasing me. I'm watching the cricket matches still. Now cricket matches are chasing me. So one such summer is my bachelor's, undergrad, senior year, and I was giving my final exams, alright? And I said, Swami, you've done so many miracles for me. Do one more, please, please, please. And I'm buttering Swami up very nicely. So Swami is also intelligent, right? Obviously he's God. We think we are very intelligent. We tell Swami what to do all the time. Swami also very sweetly listens all the time. So I said, Swami, why don't you give me the question paper? It's too late for me to pass this exam. I have to be a microbiologist urgently. Please, this is the final exam. This will decide my future. Please, I will do anything in return. Right? You make grand promises when you want something from your parents. I'll study well, Amma, I'll get first rank, get me the bike, get me that, get me this, right? Blackmailing. So, I said the same thing to Bhagwan. Bhagwan, very sweet. So, I had a friend of mine who used to live close by. In her house, Swami used to write letters. Physically, you would see letters appear, all parts of the house. I had gone to this house so many times that I never asked Swami anything. I believe that Swami knows everything. It's pointless to tell him something new about us. Let him give and I should be ready to take it. So this is the first time I told my friend, ask. Why don't you ask for question paper? And the best part is she's also doing the same class in a different university. So both are microbiologists. I said win-win situation. If he gives us the paper, it's the universal Chennai University paper. So you will also pass, I will also pass. Go for it. So I, pushed her into that. And she asked Swami. Next day morning I get a call. Hey, Swami, get the paper. There was an A4 sheet with about 15 questions on it. And there are only 15 questions on the final exam. I was super psyched. I said, this is the best God I can ever have in my entire life. Can't get better than this. So both of us assembled on my terrace. We put a mat down, put a fan on, and we're sincerely studying those 15 questions back to back. We made index cards. We studied, she would quiz me, I would quiz her. The whole day we spent our time only on the terrace. We did bhajan also for half an hour, being so grateful to Swami for being so kind so suddenly, in short span of time, even though we were not good students. So we're very impressed that Swami is a very tolerating Lord and we will never make this mistake again, we promised him. We went to the exam. She's gone to her college, I am gone to my college. None of the questions on the paper were enough. Exam. It's a nightmare. I am seeing stars. So the way I used to write exam is, in those days in India, you were allowed to take stuff inside, like not books. You're allowed to take pen or a picture of God, something like that. So I used to carry Swami's picture, a small vibhuti packet. I would put vibhuti on the question paper, close my eyes, pray to Lord Ganesha, Ma Saraswati, and Swami, and pray that all the knowledge just enters me somehow when it comes out. Anything can happen, right? Swami said, I can do anything. Right? So we have every right to ask. Why not? What is the worst that will happen? Maybe you will get knowledge. Right? So think positive. So I was that student, but I would study also very well. That one day I did not. So I am seeing stars. Applied Vibhuti, I've done everything now. I'm thinking, I think I have to study the Ashtotram 108 times now. This exam is out of question. None of the questions I knew the answers. None. So I'm staring at the answer sheet. I wrote a page, maybe, for all the 15 questions. Some little I knew by paying attention in class. And I gave the sheet. So the invigilator, who is the teacher who teaches in my college, said, just one page you've written. I said, yeah, that's enough. It's succinct, it's short, it's sweet, it's abstract. I'm not going to beat around the bush, this is enough. And she said, you know there are 15 questions. I said, I've answered everything, here it is. And I went home. My parents asked me, how did you do the exam? Excellent. You know, Swami's philosophy becomes very useful then. And I'm telling, Swami wrote the exam. I am just an instrument in his hands. How do I know what happened to the exam? So my parents didn't like the answer. I said, okay, marks will show who wrote the exam. You wait for it. Luckily, I passed the exam and I got the highest marks on the exam. I have no clue till date how that happened. Me and my friend scored the highest in the entire district. And we both were shocked and parents were so happy that we were not ready to take the praise anymore. It was a very guilty feeling. So the lesson that I learned that day is, Swami taught me with so much love that as a student, I had to do my duty, right? So after that, I never asked Swami, what are the questions that may come? Give me the question. We never asked him for anything like that. I'll give you another example related to a cricket match. that you will enjoy. So, backwards 5 years. I'm in my 10th grade. How many of you are in 10th grade here? Nobody. 9th? Senior. Yes, there we go. So, World Cup comes every 4 years in India. Okay? It's the highlight of the Indian cricket team. You cannot miss a single match. So, I am that religious fan where I will have all my books in front of the TV. Food, breakfast has to come to the TV. Lunch has to come to the TV. Water has to come to the TV. Only in the break time when there's an advertisement, I would run to the bathroom and run back. Quickly. And the sad part about the cricket matches are they all happen when there are public exams in the country. That's the saddest part in India. So all parents hate Sachin Tendulkar because he became famous and became rich playing cricket. All of us losing marks, losing sciences or engineering seats because of this cricket team. So now I'm sitting in front of my TV and I am that person who will pray to Swami to make India win. Like I will annoy Swami, harass him, and I would have Vishnu Sahasranamam. You know, it's a book with 1008 names of Lord Vishnu in Sanskrit. And I would chant for the next 8 hours religiously till they win the match. Because I believe that single-handedly I can only make this team win this match. Nobody in the country knows how to do this except me. I have taken it upon myself. So now I'm sitting in front of the TV and I am also studying in between, you know, moving pages so parents when they're coming and going from the kitchen or the bedroom, they think I'm studying. We all do that. I know all of you do that. No. So, match is going on. So one team already played. Now India is going to play 1995 World Cup. I can never forget. We're playing South Africa. We needed 1 ball, 2 ball, 27 runs. I was thinking how this can, 1 over 27 runs. And I was thinking how can, so in 1 over there are 6 balls and you have to make 27, so do the math. Okay? So I am now praying very fervently. So I'm sitting on the couch and in India you have this mosquito meshes on the windows because mosquitoes come in and, right, they bite you. So the meshes were put on and everything, I set my life. I'm watching, 1 ball goes, they don't make a run and I'm so disheartened. And all of a sudden, the power goes away. And my mother is so happy. She's clapping from the kitchen itself. She's like, excellent. Swami knows what to do with you. I said, Swami is on my side, not on your side. So we will decide whose side. So now I'm looking at Swami's picture and telling Swami, please, Swami, there are only 5 balls. 5 balls, I will do this, Swami. Please, I'll study very well. So I'm looking, you know, plugging the electrical box and fidgeting things, the power never comes on. So I called the watchman of the colony and said, what is going on? He said, there is no power. Madam, every house has power, only your house doesn't have power. So this is bizarre, because I can hear people screaming upstairs and downstairs. So I'm now standing in front of Swami, I'm like, please, 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 intensely, and the power comes back on. I say, thank God. So second ball goes. Nothing happens, I thought it would be a 6 or a 4. And now what happens, the power is there, the cable goes. So, still I am a tube light, I didn't understand very well what's happening. So I called the watchman, said, seriously, now the cable has gone. This is, madam, only your house has no cable, unplug the TV and see, it will come back on, but every house has cable. So I'm doing everything, nothing. So I pray to Swami, Swami, I will listen to my mother, how about that? And the cable comes back on instantly. So the third ball happens, nothing major happens, and my heart is just, you know, heart rate is increasing. And I'm sitting, everything is going just fine, I'm not even gulping my saliva, I'm so fixated on the match. All of a sudden, somebody is knocking on my head. And I'm thinking, what? Who is that? So I thought my sister, you know, she's playing a prank on me from behind the mosquito net. I see all of a sudden, I just do this. 4 ball happens, 4th ball. And then I see a tail on my head. And I see a mouse sitting on my head. I screamed my lungs. And I ran into the bedroom, shut the door in a panic attack. There's a mouse on my head. I never watched the game. India never won that game. That's why. We never won that World Cup, unfortunately. But I went to bed. Swami came in my dream that night. And he asked me, how's the mouse? So what is with you in the animal kingdom? Why are you employing animals to teach me a lesson? I'm a human being. I will listen to you if you try to teach me something. He said, how is the mouse? So I said, Swami, black in color. It's a black color mouse. He said, I know the color. And then he told me, if you don't listen to your mother, I will never help you ever. And I said, Swami, never, it will never happen again. So he said, also stop watching TV. So when he said, also stop watching TV, I knew that is more important than anything else. So 1995 was the last I watched TV. I'm in the US for the past 11 years, I don't own a TV. So when my friends call me every 4 years, come, let's watch the World Cup. And I get so excited and I remember what happened with me. And I tell them, if you want to watch the match, don't call me. Your power will go, your cable will go, or there will be animals in your house, you don't understand. But the moral of the story is, what I'm trying to tell you is, as I said, you have to live in love of Swami. Now you may wonder, Swami is all the time scolding you, Swami is all the time telling you what not to do. And always telling you, don't do this, don't do that. Then how do you love such a Lord? How do you love such a Swami, right? But I learned that if you implicitly follow Swami's instructions, you will be in such a happy place that nobody can take you there, not even your parents. It's just the connection that you make between you and Swami. So I narrated this experience in the retreat. I'm not sure how many of you were there. Okay, 1 or 2 were there. Very good. Yes. So there's another story that I have that I can narrate and tell you how Swami taught even a bigger lesson, that I should just surrender to Swami and follow his instructions. So I finished my undergrad, and then Swami told me in my dream, why don't you go outside and study? So I said, Swami is inviting me to come and study in Anantapur in his college. So I should go put an application. I got an application, I put an application. It so happened that all the dates of the entrance exam at Puttaparthi clashed with the final exam dates of my undergrad. So I said, Swami, you gave me wrong information. I can hear my parents telling in the background, he never told you to go to Swami's college. He said, go outside of Chennai and study. He didn't tell you go to Anantapur. You miscalculated. So I said, fair point. So I decided, when you're young, you're so full of energy, you want to do everything. So I went to Puttaparthi, I got a ticket, fought with my parents, got a ticket, I went to Puttaparthi and I hiked up the administrative block. So the administrative block is up there, behind the mandir, and you have to go uphill. So I went up there. So I'm standing there, like a terrorist now, ready to fight with somebody to change the date. Like, how can this be possible? So I go there and said to the person outside, I said, I want to talk to the registrar. The registrar is the person who decides the curriculum, when classes begin, when the exams start, when to do everything, right? So I want to speak to the registrar. Now everybody there are very soft-spoken people. So the person will look at, Sairam sister, please have a glass of water, he will come. That's all I got. I said, no, I don't want water, I want to talk to the registrar. Yes sister, please have water, he's coming. So the registrar walks out. He comes out and he says, Amma, what is the problem? He didn't even say anything else. Directly he realized, I have a problem. He said, Amma, what is your problem? I said, what is this? There are 25 kids from Chennai who want to give an entrance exam here, but you put dates like this. Who decides these dates? And very sweetly he smiled and said, Swami decides the dates. Why don't you go talk to him? I said, this war is over already. I can't fight this war. Forget it. So I came back disappointed, heartbroken. And my mother said, what are you going to do now? Huh? I said, I don't want to go to any other school other than Swami school. And somehow, what happens in Chennai, in India, is all admission processes finish by May end. And you know where you are. And so I lost that window. So now for 1 year, I'm going to waste my education time. So my parents were very unhappy. So what are you going to do for 1 hour? 1 year. I said, I'll do something, some seva, some bhajan. I said, no, 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 no. You have to do something. You can't waste time. So one day my mother, she was looking at the newspaper and I was so happy. Every center I was doing bhajan. I was going for bhajan. Every center I was going for service activity. I would call the center presidents and call me if you have some work. I have nothing to do for 1 year. I want to offer my services to Swami. So I was all over the city. My mother saw this advertisement for Rani Durgavati University from Jabalpur. Anybody? Thank God. So in Jabalpur, it's in central India. Now it's in Chhattisgarh. So my mother said, why don't you go give entrance exam there? So alright, let's go book a train ticket. So we're standing in the train station in India. It is way back 2000. We didn't have the electronic online booking system like all of you have now. You have to go there early in the morning at 4 o'clock. Wait for the doors to open at 8 o'clock. And there's a huge line. And when your turn comes, you book a ticket and you don't know if you'll have a confirmed ticket. So much of a hassle in those days. So we're standing in the line and we're singing bhajans, 4 in the morning, pray. My mother's praying to Swami that I should get a ticket. I said, why are you worrying so much? He said, no, only daughter, I want to send her, you're going to waste 1 year. I said, that is not your headache. Swami's headache. Swami decided to create us. He has a plan. Why are you worrying so much? Let him worry. That is his headache now. Let us be happy. So she says, don't give me lecture on what to do about you. You don't want to pray, you don't pray, I'll pray. So okay, we reached by 8 o'clock to the counter and the guy says, madam, you have a waiting list of 108. Now, waiting list is that seat where about 108 people have to cancel. For you to get into reservation against cancellation, that is another 10 seats to cancel. Then you will get a permanent seat or a berth where you can sleep and go. And Jabalpur is a 2-day journey. So my mother refuses, nothing doing, I'm not going to send you on waiting list. That means you have to sit on your luggage somewhere in the corridor near the door in the train and go till you get a reserve ticket. I was ecstatic. I said 108 is a Brahma number, it's a divine number, let's go and book this ticket. He said no. So I said okay, she was very disheartened. I said don't worry Amma, Swami has a plan. He said don't tell me who has a plan, right now you don't have a plan, that's all I know. So we step out of the train ticketing counter and as we're going down the stairs, the guy from the office runs out and calls my mother and said, madam, is one reserve ticket available in the Mahilas coach. So that coach is only women coach. There's one cancellation, would you want? I was so happy that I'm not going that far. My mother was suddenly so happy that I am going that far. So very good. We all are happy finally. We are on board. I'm on the train. I reached there. Now I am going only for an entrance exam. Remember that I didn't have the seat yet. Right? So this is a note to all the children. You should never do this in your life. Disclaimer. This is one of the worst things I have done and nobody should ever do. So I decided I will fail the exam and that way I will never study that far. Because the only reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to be closer to Swami. So from Chennai to Puttaparthi is overnight bus. You buy a ticket, you get onto the bus, you can have darshan. Jabalpur, you have to take a 2.5-day train journey to see Swami and you can't go that easily back and forth. Plus I had to stay with my aunt who was very strict, stricter than my mother and father. So it was really a bad situation. So I had many reasons to cancel this education plan. So I went there. Now Swami had a different plan. I am going there and there's a huge protest going. Today we learnt about Satyagraha, right? They had Dandagraha. They had sticks in their hand and they had police around the campus because the union members were fighting with the administration to increase their salaries. So I said, who is going to study in such a chaotic environment? Right? Because I am Ma Saraswati and I need very peaceful environment to study and learn all the knowledge. So I said, check one, I am not going to study here. One reason not to study here. And I am going into the corridor. In North Indians, they have a very good habit of eating pan. It's a mouth freshener to digest the food. And they paint the walls beautifully everywhere. It's an abstract art. You can't decide what it looks like. So the whole corridor is painted red and pink. And I have never seen this. I've never traveled before. So I'm thinking, what is this paint and what is this design? So some of my colleagues said, this is not a ping, this is, pond being spit over the walls. That's what it really is. So I was very disgusted. This is not a clean place. Number 2 reason not to study here. Now, as I'm walking, all of us have these habits. If you observe your parents or yourself in the school, you have nothing, you have something in your head, you're thinking about something, but what are you doing? You're singing bhajan unconsciously, right? Sometimes humming a bhajan. So I also had that habit of singing bhajans everywhere. So I'm walking into the corridor and I am singing Nandishwara hi Nataraja, and I see a buffalo walking across me. A real buffalo. So Nandishwara means what?
Buffalo. Oh,
Nandi is buffalo. Nandishwara is Lord Shiva, right? The vehicle of Lord Shiva. So I was just disgusted looking at the buffalo. I said, what is this? This is a zoo. Who studies here? This can't be a college. Now imagine you go to a college and you see a buffalo walking across. Would you like it? No, nobody will like it, right? So it's the correct response. So I looked at the buffalo and I said, Swami, how much ever you're pleased with my devotion. Just because I'm singing an Nandishwara bhajan, you don't have to send your vahana to bless me immediately. You have moved me and I have moved you with my devotion. But still, Swami, I'm not going to study here. So I made a mental note, I don't want to study here. I went to the exam. I saw there were 50 questions. So 30 questions, if you get right, you will pass. So you mark one negative question, there were negative scoring in that entrance exam. So I intentionally marked wrong answer and got out and I was like, yes, I'm never going to pass this exam. I'm going back and I'm going to do seva again and go to bhajans everywhere and I will do service in Sundaram, that is it. So Sundaram was the headquarters of Sai organization, the district of Chennai, and I was very happy. I come back and I get a phone call within a week and my mother said, you passed the exam, you topped the entrance exam. I said that you are mistaken, there has to be some other Pallavi. Did you check the last name? And she said, no, you are the only there Pallavi in that list, you topped the entrance. So now I knew who was behind all this. Who was behind all this? Yeah, you can fool your parents, you can fool everybody in the world. There is one person you can't fool. Yourself and Swami. So my mother said, you said you did the exam, okay, alright, and on. What happened? I said, I was just being humble, Amma. I mean, I can't be telling I did excellently well. So she says, this is great. I'm very proud of you. You're a very good daughter of mine. You're very happy, and my sister was very unhappy listening all these prayers. And so, my mother said, and she knows, so this is my parents who know that I don't do anything without taking Swami's blessing. I'm very adamant about it. Very adamant. Either he has to come and tell me in my dream, or I have to go to Patti and he should tell me verbally. Without these two confirmations, I'm not going to do anything. As small as if my parents would buy me a new salwar kameez or a sari, I wouldn't wear it till Swami would bless it in my dream. Very adamant. And she was very sweet, both of them. They would say, okay, go to Patti now, book your tickets, go get permission, pack your bags and go. She was very convinced that I'm going to go. I said, Swami has to give permission. He loves me too much. He won't let me go that far. Wait and watch. So just pack your bags. So I go to Patti. Now I'm sitting in darshan line. You know, in those days you have to take token. Early morning at 4:30, I'm sitting next to Purnachandra Auditorium and I dozed off. I was very tired. I dozed off. Swami comes in my dream. Right there. His residence is about 2 feet away and he comes in my dream. Swami is holding his handkerchief, he's wiping his forehead. It was so hot that day in Jabalpur. Same thing he's doing. He's standing in front of those police people and the band was going on. He's wiping his forehead and he says, hey, Itra. So in Telugu he says, come here. So I go running up to him because now I have to be very nice. I have to make a business deal with Swami, right? That don't give me permission to go. So I have to be extra nice with him now. So I'm buttering him up. So he says, Itra, I said, Swami, what is wrong with this university? That's the first thing he asked. He's not happy at all. I said, Swami, everybody's fighting with each other. Who studies in such a chaotic environment? So Swami said, are you going there to fix the union problems? I said, are you going there to solve their problems? No. Then he says, aur kya problem hai? So in Hindi he said, what other problem do you have with this university? I said, that's it, I'm going to tell Bhagwan now. Everything. I was polite now, nothing doing. Because he is not polite to me, right? So I said, Swami, everybody has spat on the walls and there's so much pan, it's disgusting. I'm not going to study in a dirty environment. He said, are you going there to acquire knowledge, to paint the walls, or are you going there to study? You go to the library, put your head down and you study. I said, Swami, it's very dirty, Swami, you don't understand. I said, I know everything. And then he said, what else? Because he knew what problems I had. Only 3 things on my list, right? So he said, what else? In Telugu said, Inka? He said, Swami, there are buffaloes walking in the corridor. Swami, I can't study here. I gave up. I was so frustrated at this point. And he said, so? I said, Swami, buffalo. So in Telugu said, Aite emi? I then decided that it's no point arguing with the Lord because the Lord is always right. So there's no point arguing with Swami. And if you really love Swami and you consider him as your best friend, you would not want to argue with Swami, right? If you have a best friend, would you always go and argue with your friend?
No.
Your friend will think, this girl is nuts. Why is she always arguing with me? I love her so much, right? Yet we all fight with Swami, even though we know he's our best friend. So I said, okay. And I woke up. I said, maybe, I was imagining Swami came and leave. I'll wait for verbal, physical confirmation when it comes during darshan. So I put in a twist. We all need to test Swami, right? Swami, if you do this, I will do that. And he will do it also. But again, he'll say, Swami, if you do this and that, maybe I will do what I promised. So now I am praying to Swami to give me first row. I got a first row. I'm sitting in the block. And I said, Swami, this particular song has to come on the PA system during bhajans, and then only it is a verbal, it's a confirmation for me that the dream was true. I know it was true. I was just pinning tests to Swami and buying time from him. So the bhajans are going on. The first bhajan gets over, second bhajan, all of a sudden the bhajans come to an abrupt halt. And the bhajan and the song that I wanted was the Kavali, Sai Bina Raha Vijay. Abruptly the second bhajan got abandoned and I hear Sai Bina Raha Na Jaye. And I was crying because I was going far away. So the line, the sentence of the song means that I cannot live without Swami. And so at this point, I was donating free water to Swami, Sai Ganga project. Crying. So the lady next to me said, what happened to this sane woman? She was so happy dancing and now she's crying. All that happened. I said, okay, this is confirmation. Swami said, yes, the dream is true. Right? So I said, Swami, curveball. If you physically tell me to go, I will go, Swami. And till then, Swami had never spoken to me in darshan. Now I'm sitting at the corner, Swami comes out, bhajan gets over, he's walking. There's a lady next to me on my left who is holding 2 silver padukas. Very sweet, right? So, and I am sitting and the lady next to me had a letter. So Swami is very, very intelligent Lord. He will do everything in one go, in split second. He will look at somebody, he'll talk to somebody, he'll bless something immediately. All done in one split second. So he is already looking who has something in their hands to bless. So he's blessing this lady with his right hand. I'm sitting next to her and he says, I'm like, there's nothing to tell, I'm not telling anything. It's a dangerous thing, I'm not going to do. So he does that again. And so I said, Swami, I'm leaving tomorrow, Swami. And my head just explodes. What did you tell Bhagwan? You didn't want to go to Jabalpur. And here you confess to Swami that you're ready to go to Jabalpur. And Swami had the most beautiful smile. And he looked at me and he said, Chala santosham, Bangaru, Bangaru. He was so happy. He said, my dear, very happy. And Swami walked away. All this happened in 4 or 3 seconds. It's timeless in our head. But it was so quick. And by the time I could believe Swami, he's already gone, Swami gone. So I regretted. I went to Jabalpur. I studied there, my master's. So what I'm trying to tell before I wind up is that if you make Swami your best friend, he will never, never let go of your hand. Yes, he will make you cry for him, laugh for him. He'll bring you closer and closer and closer. The main thing that you have to do is you have to always remember, this is what I would do as SSC kids. I would get up in the morning, if I had any issues with my father and mother that I wanted and they didn't give, I would go to Swami and complain. I never complained to my parents. Because I knew the root cause of every problem is God. Not our parents. It's pointless. So don't argue with your parents. It doesn't help. It only increases time out time a lot. They put you in the garage or they go and sit in the garage. Right? Wondering what is wrong with my child. So what I'm trying to tell is, if you want something, the only person to go and fight with, talk with, and make your best friend and laugh with, any problem, however small, however big, you should go to Swami. Don't tell this to your parents though. Oh, they're sitting here? That's sad. But it's okay. They also have problems. So they also will go and tell them. Tell Swami, don't worry. So before I finish, thank you for having me here. It was so lovely to talk all the kids and the parents. I know all of you are wondering, how do you know Swami is your best friend? How do you know Swami is your best friend? You know, in Chennai when I used to live with my parents were very strict about not eating outside food. So I had never seen pizza in my life. Never eaten pizza. I would wonder what a pizza tastes like. And I would tell Swami, I want some pizza. So one fine day, the watchman calls me and says, there's pizza order for you, paneer pizza. I said, not this house, go to some other house. My parents were furious that I stole their credit card and ordered pizza. I said, really, I did not order pizza. So the guy comes to the door and says, Pallavi Vedantam? I said, yes, Pallavi Vedantam. You have a large pizza, paneer pizza. I said, impossible. Yes. So my mother says, oh, pay for it, go. You have money? I don't have money. And then decide what you want to do. So the guy tells, madam, don't fight, the pizza is already paid for. And he had the receipt that said, Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba. What I'm saying is, Swami will do anything for you. All that you have to do is believe in that. So thank you again everyone for the patience listening. I hope I could share some experiences that I had.
Thank you so much, Pallavi Akka, for coming and sharing us your love for Swami and your friendship with Swami. I really enjoyed you telling us about how you should live in love with Swami and not fear with Swami. And so we would like to give you a small gift of love. I don't know. Oh, it's right there.
See, that's why I'm a gifted speaker. I have a gift now.